Alright. This trib, we've already stripped it, so time to sell it. Goodbye. And we do have the Battle Master, so we need to hit up an industrial hub. Speaking of things, let's put this Wolverine in storage. We're not going to be using it for a bit. I almost want to put crabs in cold storage. Like, we don't lose anything from it. Oh, no, wait, we do. Because if I remember right, we did some upgrades on these crabs. Yeah, we did. We did a little bit of upgrading on them. So I can't put them away. I can't put them away. But let's have a look at the options. Let's have a look at the options. Difficulty, markets, cheating. Keep loadout in cold storage. Alright, so let's try the options under mod options then. Globally changes all ballistic weapons. See, I'm looking at the ballistics. General quarters, it was the 7K, I believe. Let me see. Let's go back to the mech lab. It's they're calling it a hero Wolverine, but it isn't marked as a hero mech. It's this one, the 7H. Originally, this had a Ultra AC5 in it. We had to switch it out for a burst fire because it got blown up. I mean, is it potentially because of one of the quirks? It's fine. It's fine. I just, like, now I know that's a thing. We'll take it under advisement. Oh, right. Options. So what is this? Shooting an AC-20 at 2 kilometers and doing full damage, but AI will only shoot at 270 meters. AI will shoot them farther. In vanilla Mechwarrior 5, ballistics have the same max range as the optimal, so AI does not shoot too far and have no damage fall off, so they do normal damage at any range. Chad, I feel like we want to turn this off. I feel like that might be why the autocannons are feeling so weak all of a sudden. Part of the reason, anyway. I guess I could just cheat and turn ballistic damage up. Like, make it 1.5 or something. Make ballistics hit just a little bit harder. Because again, they just don't feel powerful enough to me. But yeah, like I said, I have used an Ultra AC5 before. And it did not work the way that those did just now in that mission. That's why I'm very concerned. And again, it could be a weapon tier thing. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, I'm not seeing... Not really seeing anything in these options that seems to control that. So there's no drop-down menus here. Well, Bulbrig, it's not necessarily that I'm cheating, it's that my complaint has been, even going back to the vanilla campaign, ballistics don't do enough damage. Just plain and simple, flat out, they do not do enough damage. Like an AC-20, even just a regular baseline AC-20, not a burst fire, not a rapid fire, just an AC-20, in the lore of the game, is supposed to be essentially naval artillery in caliber, and yet I have to go and shoot a Panther 8, 10, 12 times with an AC-20. A Panther, which is a light mech. I have to go out there and unload half a bin of ammo into a single light mech to take it down. And that's if I hit with every single shot. The AC-20 is supposed to be the end-all, be-all in terms of ballistic weapons. To be seconded only by actual artillery. And so, like, to me, in Mechwarrior 5, the ballistics just don't hit. Even the big caliber stuff, even the AC-20s, they just don't hit hard enough. If I'm having to use half a bin of ammo on the biggest gun in the game to kill one light mech, then that's how you end up with the situations where you have to fill up a hunchback with 8 bins of AC-20 ammo just to survive an extended engagement. And it shouldn't be that way. Part of it is the weight penalty issue. Well, I'm going to put it at 1.5, and I might regret that. I might regret that because I'm also making all those AC-2s hit harder that the computer loves to spam from a mile away. So, those Igors and the VTOLs are going to hurt a whole lot more than they used to. And maybe that's why the damage is degraded. I mean, that could be why damage is lower on autocannons than they should be. Because the developers know that they kind of spam those autocannons in the vehicles. And so, in order to not have you getting blown up by vehicles, they decrease the damage. So, I don't know. We're messing with vanilla balance, but that's part of the fun. That's part of the fun. If it's too much, we can turn it back down. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. But anyway, enough of my bitching. Enough of my bitching. We got some battle masters to put back together. So let me pull this thing out of cold storage real quick. And let us, because I forgot to do it, let us head back to this industrial zone. Oh. Wow, chat, we just left this industrial zone and they've already got another hero mech. Let's go check it out. Let's go check it out. Hopefully it's another good one. Cross your fingers. Cross your fingers for something good. Chad, I don't think it's something good. I don't think it's something good. Although it might be good. We just buffed autocannons, so maybe I spoke too soon. Rifleman for 15 million. The Legend Killer Rifleman. The Legend Killer is the near mythical rifleman of the only 7-time Solaris Games champion, Grey Noten, or Noten? I'm not sure how you pronounce that. His dominance over the games for so many years sowed many rumors that Legend Killer was some lost Star League mech that simply assumed the form of an average rifleman. After his retirement from the games, Noten became an information broker for the power players on Solaris 7 until his untimely murder. Imagine that, a power broker getting murdered. The Legend Killer would later be piloted by Justin Zhang in the title fight for the 3027 Solaris Championship. And yet somehow, 20 years later, it ends up here in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. I mean, it might have been AC-5s once before, but clearly yet another mech lab says they're AC-10s. LBX-10s, to be precise. Although they did put an XL engine in it to achieve that. I mean, chat, we got the money. I say we buy it. I don't know that we'll do anything with it right away. Especially because I'm not super fond of riflemen in general. They're like, there's nothing wrong with a rifleman necessarily, they just don't suit my playstyle. Like, the way I play the game, riflemen are not good for the way I play the game. Might be decent for the AI, though. But for right now, I think we're just gonna put it in cold storage. Because I'm not planning to do anything with it immediately. The cataphract has been fully stripped down, so let's go ahead and sell it. Sorry, cataphracts. You know, you could have been good. You could have been a contender, but you just kept getting blown up. Right. Get everything put back together here. And then we got 2 battle masters to put together. They're both the 1G battle master. Whoops, not upgrades. I don't want upgrades. I want loadout. I want loadout. So let's repair everything. We do have the 340 cores, because remember, we specifically did these in such a way that we would get them with the cores. Yeah, we do have the Black Knight. We do have the Black Knight. But let's see. What do we want to do with this thing? What do we want to do with it? I mean, we turned them into pulse laser boats back during the vanilla campaign, and that was hilariously effective. I could easily see the same working here as well. So we'll remove all the heat sinks for now. We'll keep the 340 engine, unless we got something better. Nope, 340 is about as good as it gets. How many PPCs you got knocking around? I don't think I got enough. But I know what you're thinking. Ah, well, maybe we do. Maybe we do. I don't have many PPCXs, but we got 8 tier 1 PPCs. You always forget how playstyle dictates everything. Yeah, exactly. Like, I got nothing against a rifleman, it's just, with me, I'm all heavy armor, all speed, charge in, close range weapons, beat the crap out of them. That's not what you use a rifleman for, and if you try to play it that way, you're going to die. Ooh, let's see. Can I somehow, some way, put 6 PPCs in this thing? No. The tonnage will not allow it. The tonnage will not allow it. So, essentially, what we did in the vanilla campaign is... And I don't know that we're going to have the equipment to do it. But we had a large pulse laser in the arm. And then we had medium pulse lasers in the chest, in the torsos. Just completely left out the missiles. And then I think we put in some machine guns on the left arm for a little bit of bonus damage. And that was pretty much the setup that we used. And again, it was hilariously effective. With more double heat sinks, I think we can make it even more effective. Like, this by itself is a really good design, and then we can even go further with it and say max out the armor, and then we'll just tone it down a little bit to rein in that, you know, the goofy little extra armor. Plus, you know, 69 leg armor, so nice. And then, of course, I'm gonna put powered sensors in this thing because I always want better sensors so I can see the enemy. And then that gives us 2 tons to play with, which I could then spend on either more ammo for the machine guns that I don't think we need, or just stick in a couple more heat sinks. Except they go in the feet, because that's what you do with heat sinks. How about that, Jeb? What do we think? Basically, we're riding the majority of our damage on medium pulse lasers, but we do have the large pulse for some longer range stuff, and then we got the machine guns in case we get really close. Like I said, this is very, very similar to the Pulse Master that we were running in the vanilla campaign, and this thing wrecked shop. This thing was a headshot machine, especially up close. Got any small pulse? They don't explode. I don't think we do, but even if we do, I mean, I would rather use a medium because it's got longer range. Yeah, we don't have any pulses. We have some short bursts, but I'm gonna put this one together as is. We still got another one. We don't have the pulse lasers to build another one of these, so we're gonna have to do something else with the other Battle Master. That's gonna be 3 million C-bills to get this thing put back together. Again, it's a Battle Master, it's venerable, it's durable. I think it's worth the money. We just got done doing a narrative campaign to make a bunch of money, so if we're not gonna spend it on making our company better, then what the hell was the point? So this looks like a relatively default loadout. You got your PPC, your regular medium lasers. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this design overall. Probably what I would do is drop the SRMs, add a little more armor. Take one off of there, do this. And then, I mean, the PPC is good. PPC is good. Possible to double up the PPC. We could double up the PPC. We could. I just don't know that it's worth it. Because, I mean, we have the awesome for that. If we wanted to go with a PPC boat. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, the PPC, I don't particularly like with the Battle Master. And I know that sounds weird. But for me, the Battle Master, at least in terms of, like, how it moves in battle, like, actually moving over the ground, the Battle Master is very, very stable, and like its aim is extremely stable. And so for me, that makes it really, really good for like large lasers. Because we can put a large laser in this thing, and I can just headshot people from a long way off, and then come in and do the same damage with the medium lasers. It's not as effective a design without the pulse lasers, but that doesn't mean it's not effective. We could even go especially stupid. And I could say, how about instead of a large laser, let's go with an ER large laser. How about instead of medium lasers, we go with short burst medium lasers. Yeah, no spare large pulse. We only had one large pulse laser, and I put it in the other Battle Master already. So we're running on the red line there. If we lose any weapon systems, we're gonna have to downgrade, which is kind of crappy. But like, take these guys out. We already got heat sinks in the feet, but replace them with short bursts. Maximize that DPS potential. And we already got the machine guns in the arm. We already got the ammo for the machine guns. And because we're not using pulse lasers, that gives us a little more tonnage to play with. So we could potentially put the SRM back in here. Let's see. If I put in an SRM-6, that's 3 tons. I'm not going to be spamming it, so I could put in 1 ton of ammo. Except I'm not going to put it in the torso because that's asking for a crit. And then throw in one more heatsink. Let's see. 320 rounds on an SRM-6, and again, I'm not going to be using it all the time. It's just going to be for some bonus damage up close. And then we just throw in one more heatsink to give us just a little bit more mitigation. I mean, it's not going to be as good as the Pulse Master, but it's a good compromise based on the equipment that we currently have. Yeah, always need more heat sinks. The more heat sinks you can put in a Battle Master, the better. We could upgrade it. I mean, I do like Battle Masters. We could upgrade it with the double heat sink kit. And then that way we keep the same tonnage, but we increase our cooling substantially. Yeah, that's the hope. The hope is that as we get a little later in the timeline, I'll be able to upgrade this thing and continue to put better and better weaponry into it. That's the hope, at least. And that's what I'll even, you know, going the extra mile and putting in Endo and XL engines and other stuff like that. So, I mean, we could go really heretical with this if we wanted to. But that's going to be another 2.5 million. Yeah, I would like to run Pulse and ER if we could. Sadly, we're just, again, not at the point in the timeline where we can do that. We're only at 30-30, so we need to go another 10 years at least before we really start to see that stuff show up in shops on a regular basis. Although we do occasionally find mechs in the salvage that have, you know, pulse lasers and ER lasers and things like that. And Disco Hydra says, damn, about time I caught one of these first time chat. Well, welcome, Disco Hydra. Good to see you on a Saturday. Glad you can join us, and hopefully the weekend is treating you well. And I would assume, if you're saying that you're coming over from the YouTube lands, in which case, welcome from the land of Susan. And you have indeed caught us live. We are about 4.5 hours into today's stream. And we finished up the Kestrel Lancers DLC. We're now just kind of doing some miscellaneous narrative missions as we upgrade the company. Speaking of, what do we got in the vicinity? Well, let's track this. This seems like a relatively simple mission. Let's see where this actually is. I wish it would show you, like, you see here how it's got the little thing pointing at the narrative mission. I wish it would do that for all narrative missions instead of making you, like, go look for them. Because I just want to see what missions are close to where I am right now. But we have Adder, which is another one of the legendary pilots. And yeah, I was going to say, I thought they were way out here. I don't see any transmissions in the vicinity. There is a hero mech for sale up here, but we just got done spending a bunch of money. What else do we have? What else do we... I mean, we do have some more Kestrel Lancer stuff that we can do. We got Air of Nothing, which is in Steiner Space. We're pretty close to Steiner Space now. Although, once again, it's way over here. So, how about this, chat? How about we make our way this direction? We're gonna have to probably do 2 big sets of jumps. So, what is this? We're sitting at recommended reputation 12 or 13, so this is gonna be a little outside of our range. I was hoping that we could stop in at one of these conflict zones on the way, but again, it still seems just a little bit outside of where we want to be. So maybe we don't do that one yet. But it says it's only reputation 6. That's fair. Most things are Steiner Space adjacent. Alright, here's what we'll do. We'll stop over here, see what this transmission is about. Then we'll jump over here and do this mission, and while we're in the neighborhood, I'll see about coming down here and doing this to pick up another elite pilot. We got some money to burn, which means we got some time to burn. Oh my, game is chugging pretty hard. Free Worlds League shipping lane discovered. Alright, I don't know what that means. From the land of YouTube as well. Made this account just to watch this stream live. Well, glad to have you, Bob the Troll. And thanks for coming over. Again, I always like to see folks live, and I always recommend that is the best way to enjoy my content, because you get to be here and interact with me and interact with the rest of the community. So I always recommend trying to catch us live if you can, but you know, the YouTube archive exists because I know not everybody's schedule lines up. Some people have to work, some people live in other countries, other time zones. So I try to provide that for the folks that want to catch the content but maybe don't have the ability to make the streams. I don't necessarily recommend going too deep down the Twitch rabbit hole. But it can be a fun site. If you're just now getting into Twitch, it can be fun. Can be, being the operative part of that phrase. Alright, so it looks like we're doing more corporate espionage here. This is a raid, and it's difficulty 70 with a 315-ton limit, so it's gonna be a little rough for us.
Weather conditions in the area will restrict visibility.
But I like a good challenge. Alright. We can try taking out the Black Knight again. I kind of want to try out the Battlemaster, though. Let me see. This is not the one. This is the one. The Pulse Master. That's the one I want to try out first. So let's see who's going to have a decent enough affinity with those. Nobody. Alright, so because it's a laser boat, who's got the highest energy skill? Sereni's got 12. Northman has 12. 12 here. 16 maximum for Antsy. I think Antsy... I think Antsy might be the one. With a potential maximum energy skill of 16, if we can max them out at 16, they are going to be deadly. Absolutely deadly in this machine. Had an account way early, never had the setup to stream, and I sit in silence when I play because I'm silent foci type. Yeah, I mean, in this day and age, especially post-pandemic, I mean, everybody tries to stream at least once. For me, it was just kind of a, let me see if I can do this, and I did it, and, I happened to run into you fine folks and started building a community. So, I mean, it's definitely not something that everybody can do, because you have to have, like I do, you have to have the gift of gab where you can just sit there and run your mouth for 6 hours at a time, which is not a skill everyone has and isn't necessarily a skill that I think everyone wants. But I will say I am surprised at how much more work I had to put into this than I thought I would. You see your favorite streamers and your favorite YouTubers out there, and you're just like, oh, you just hit record on the software and play video games for 8 hours, and then, but there's a whole lot more to it than that. I can tell you that for a fact. It's much more complex than it may seem on the surface. But let's see, we're gonna take out a T-bolt, because a T-bolt's always a good pick. I think taking out a Marauder isn't bad. Let's try the Short Burst Marauder. And then, let's see, we got about 90 tons to play with, which means we can pretty much take anything else in our arsenal with no issues. You know what? The Zeus was doing pretty good, so let's take the Zeus out again. And then let's see who we've got that can actually run these. Nobody in particular, so we'll put Sereni in there. Again, we got Northman with a little bit of affinity for the Zeus. And we got Mara with good affinity for the T-bolt, so we'll put in Mara. Alright, it's gonna take us 56 days to get the Battle Master fixed back up, but that's okay. There's no time limit on the mission, so let's make it hot, chat. Gotta get art, advertise the stream, edit long form. Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And for me especially, because I do it all myself. I do it all myself. Every piece of content that you see on this stream, aside from the games themselves, because obviously I'm not a game developer, but the model, you know, all of the little stream elements of the images and the sound effects and all that, all the stuff in the VODs, like the editing itself, all that, that's all me. So it's a lot of work. I had to learn a lot of new skills, but that's why I started doing it, because it was an opportunity for me to learn a lot of new skills. Things that I had always wanted to learn how to do anyway. And so it was a good opportunity for me to learn those things and also do something that could help me be creative. Oh, weapon groups. Never forget your weapon groups, chat. But you know what? Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go extra heretical. I'm gonna put the pulse lasers on group 1, and I'm gonna put the large laser on group 2, and then I'm gonna put the machine gun on group 3. We're going extra heretical. Now, the real question is...
It looks like you'll still be facing resistance.
Okay, I'll have to keep that in mind. Firing all 6 medium pulse lasers at the same time generates about 33 to 35 heat.
Contact air.
Got a helicopter taking off way out there.
Lance target received.
Please take out that scorpion. Oh no, we got missiles coming in. It's a trip. It's a trap. Oh, I can actually hit him with the machine guns from here. Ain't that some shit? Yeah, see, that's why I love pulse lasers, because if I can see their head, I can just do that and delete them. Because the pulse lasers do a large amount of damage in a very short period of time. It's very, very concentrated damage.
Target neutralized.
Turn around, let me see your face.
Good kill, Commander. That mech is about to go critical.
Yeah. And just like that, he ceases to exist. Yeah, we're running redline in this one, for sure. But it's a battle master. That's pretty much what you do in a battle master. If you're not running the red line, then you're doing it wrong. God damn it. It's always the fucking VTOLs. I swear. Always the VTOLs. Alright. Now, let's actually get to the objective. We're gonna get stuck playing around in this valley all day. Kind of what I did with the Hunchy. Full medium laser, upgrade to pulse later, take hero mechs to extra from up the double heat sinks. Yeah. You can do that with a hunchback for sure. And especially in the late game when you have access to, again, XLs and pulse lasers and all kinds of other fun stuff. Yeah, you could do a lot of damage with something like that.
That's close enough. Ready to start Untactical Operations.
Guys, did y'all want to, like, shoot at the enemy at any point? Or are you just gonna stand there looking at him while he burns me alive with flamers? Alright, let me see if I can get this loot without getting beat to hell.
Package acquired.
There we go. Turret cartel doing turret cartel things. You know how it is.
New target, Vindicator.
Vindicator soon to be rendered into the past tense. Oh, well, yeah, they got to it before I did. Bye, indeed. I know we gave Sereni the Bubba voice, but the more I hear it, the more I'm imagining just some redneck in a dirty tank top and a trucker hat in the cockpit, just, you know, doing battle mech stuff. I know that's what the voice is meant to conjure, so it's working as intended. Mother fucking VTOLs.
Target destroyed.
Guys, when it takes you longer to shoot the vehicle than it does for me to run up and step on it, it's probably not a good look for you. You know that, right? Oh, well, there's Turret Cartel again. Fuck the Turret Cartel.
Target destroyed. Scratch that target off the list.
Take care of that. We got a mech over there. What is that? Alright, just random dervish. Again, haven't seen many dervishes this campaign either. Destroy the radio towers. Alright. So even though we're passing up these guns, we're not even gonna do anything to them? Seems like a wasted opportunity. Ow. Let me just walk on through here.
Objective down.
Take care of that tower. There we go.
Touching down.
Acquired.
Griffin, eh? Hey, look at me.
Watch out. That mech is going critical.
Oh, you're gonna have a bad time here in just a second, my friend. And now you have no weapon systems. You can go ahead and punch out now. God bless it.
Well placed kill shots.
Why would you charge me like that? What were you thinking? Like I don't understand what the play was there.
Over here. I done whooping good.
Oh, it's a melee griffin. He brought a melee griffin to this fight.
Over here, motherfucker. Whooping good.
Well, we might have a problem. We might have a real big problem.
Focus engagement on lead targets.
Did you what guys? Guys. I'm getting eaten alive by a million little death by 1,000 cuts here. What are y'all doing? Because at the moment it doesn't seem like the answer is anything useful. Oh shit. Yep, we lost the arm.
Commander, I'm taking fire.
I am also taking fire. I'm right there with you, buddy. The great thing about taking fire, though, is if you shoot back, you take much less fire. Crazy, I know.
This area. That mech is about to go critical.
As insane a concept as that sounds, you can, in fact, reduce the incoming fire by shooting back. Melee Griffin needs specs on that monstrosity. Maybe. I mean... fucking turret cartel. Again, death by 1,000 cuts. It's like these fucking turrets exist for no other reason than to just slowly chip away at your armor.
Vehicle destroyed.
Like, you're never gonna get killed by a turret, but you will lose parts to them if you don't take them out. That's the thing that kind of irritated me about that engagement, is like, all of my guys are just running around in circles, not shooting at anything. And meanwhile, I'm getting shot from 4 different directions by turrets while trying to take out the mechs. So, it was a little frustrating. It's a little frustrating. But if all we lose out of this is some machine guns, that's fine.
If you find the acquisition, just walk up to it in order to pick it up.
I'll take some more loot. I mean, we're headed to the extract anyway.
Brilliant. Payload
I mean, we do have the TT Rules AI mod, but yeah, it doesn't... Like, it improves the AI substantially by forcing it to act certain ways based on what you tell it to do. But it doesn't make up for the fact that the AI in general is just really bad.
Hopefully, that means the locals will clear out of their own volition.
Like, and I think probably the biggest issue with Mechwarrior 5's AI is its target prioritization. Like, that by itself causes the majority of the gripes that I have with Mechwarrior 5 is the target prioritization issues. Like, if you are shooting at a thing that's 100 meters away from you, and you have a fire starter in your face, literally stripping the armor from your mech because it's burning you down with flamers, don't keep shooting at the mech that's farther away. Like, and that's the, like, the AI doesn't, unless you force them to, the AI doesn't really reprioritize targets. Like, they stay locked in on something until it's dead or until they can't shoot at it anymore. And so, you know, you'll have your mechs chasing around this locust somewhere, chasing it around a rock while they're getting pounded by 3 heavy mechs, and completely ignore the heavy mechs to chase down the locust. And it's frustrating. But again, with enough management, you can keep that under control. But speaking of, I was just talking about how we've been finding some really weird mechs out here that have really good equipment, like this. This was the melee griffin that we headshotted. It's got a bunch of tier 4 equipment in it, including a medium mace. We got another melee option here. This was another mech we headshotted, a wolverine with a fist. I thought I saw some pulse lasers in here on one of these mechs. I might have been just seeing things. Yeah, I guess I was seeing things. I might have seen the short burst lasers and thought that they were pulse lasers, but... And we said it... Chad, I'm already having a problem with words today, and then people are coming in here with these weird names that I don't know how to pronounce. But Wes... I'm gonna say Wes. I'm gonna call you Wes. Wes ATR84. Let me know if that's not how to pronounce that. I will endeavor to pronounce your name correctly if you tell me how it's intended to be pronounced. But I'm gonna say Wes. Says, hey yo, first time chatter. Well, good to see you, Wes. Thanks for joining us on a Saturday. Always glad to have more folks come in to join us for some hot mech on mech action. And hopefully the weekend is treating you well. Hopefully it's treating you well. Wes is good, okay. And Mind Out as well, first time chatter saying hello. Well, hello to you as well, Mind Out, and welcome to the stream. Good to see you guys. Glad to have new folks rolling in and chatting and trying to be active in the community. Always want to have new converts for the Cult of Bad Tactical Decisions. So again, I hope the weekend finds you well, and if not, hopefully it will be a little better now that you're here to hang out with us. But let's see, we got 26 salvage picks. What do I want to take? I think I kind of want to take this griffin. I mean, we cored it out, but we can strip, or we didn't core it out, so we can strip the equipment, and that's a lot of good tier 4 equipment, plus a 275 engine. Like, that's a really good get, and we get 2 more picks on top of it, so, let's see. I mean, I'll always take a little more Frank's Red Hot. And it'd be pretty hard to turn me away from the cult of war crimes. Hey, listen. I only do war crimes when we get paid to do war crimes. You're trying to make it sound like I'm out there just doing war crimes for fun. I don't do war crime. I mean, I do sometimes have fun while we're doing war crimes, but like, you get what I mean. It's not mutually exclusive. Like, sometimes you can have a good time doing war crimes, but I'm not the kind of person who goes out and commits war crimes in order to entertain myself. Correct, I am not a Capellan. View transmission, let's see. Forceful Negotiations Part 2. Is that gonna be... Okay, we are gonna have to move to a different planet. Where are you gonna send me for this one? Okay, same conflict zone. However, the Battlemaster got a little beat up, but it did survive its engagement, so we're gonna give it its colors. It is gonna get its paint. I'm sorry, excuse me? Oh, that's the Franken. I was gonna say, I was about to lose my shit thinking the game changed my paint job. Alright, there we go. There we go. So the Battlemaster earned its colors. Let's go ahead and get it put back together. Although, we're gonna have to go into loadout because I don't think we have any more tier 4 machine guns. Oh no, we do! How about that? Well, there you go. We're able to put it back together with absolutely no changes to the design. Marauder lost an arm, so that's going to cost us some short bursts. Again, it's not the end of the world. We're just going to have to replace him with something else, that's all. We got a couple of tier 0s. That's the best I can do. Let's see. I don't know why the repairs are getting so expensive all of a sudden. It's like the game is increasing the cost because it knows I have more money. I'd have to pay extra for war crimes. I mean, I've said before, like, I don't necessarily have a problem committing war crimes as a mercenary. It's just a matter of, like, tell me ahead of time, hey, listen, we want you to go do a crime. And then I will decide, based on the severity of said crime, whether it's something I'm okay with doing. Don't be like, hey, we need you to go blow up the secret weapons of mass destruction facility, and then I get there and it's a fucking orphanage. Like, if you want me to blow up an orphanage, I'm not saying no. Like, I might do it, but I need to know ahead of time. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, Turd Cartel is clearly hurting because they're up in costs. Alright, let's get into the loadout. Let's strip this Griffin down, as you do. And, we'll sell it off once we've stripped it. I think we're good, otherwise. It says melee specialization, so it actually gets a melee cooldown modifier and a damage modifier. That's actually kind of cool. Like, they actually gave it a specialization for that. Well, we're not going to use it, because it's a Griffin. But, even so, cool idea. Cool idea. Star map, where are we at? Let's head up here. Let's chase down the next mission. Oh, what do we got? Oh, okay, so we have this is the priority transmission. This is basically the game letting us know we're gonna have to take the Rise of Rasselhaig DLC at this point, or we will not be able to do it anymore in the campaign. I have already said from the beginning of this career, I'm not gonna do Rise again, because we did Rise during the vanilla campaign. And I want to... I would rather focus on other parts of the DLC package. So, sadly, we are not going to be doing Rise. If you're interested in seeing the Rise DLC, though, during our playthrough, the vanilla campaign, actually, the last episode just went up for the vanilla campaign last night. So, if you're interested in seeing the Rise DLC, at least before we get around to it again, it is up on the YouTubes. Just FYI. And Steve Sim Station rolling into the chat. First time chatter saying hello. Well, good to see you, Steve. Thanks for joining us on a Saturday. And thanks for hanging out with us on this stream. We're always glad to have more people come in. Hopefully the weekend is treating you well. The higher difficulty Warzone you're in, the higher the cost and the longer the repair time. Ah, see, I thought it was just universal. But that's good intel. That's good intel. I will keep that in mind, because we are spending a lot of money on repairs all of a sudden. Sorry to love you and leave you, but gotta run away to attend another Lego meet. Have one. Alright, well, good to see you, Travis. As always, thanks for hanging out, even if it was for a little while. And good luck with all those giant horse, camel, Godzilla spiders, and all that other goofy stuff that lives down in the land down under. But have fun with your meet. Hopefully have a good time. And again, I hope we'll catch you on the next one. I've said before, I'll say it again, I don't care if you spend 5 minutes or 5 hours in the stream. All of your minutes are precious, and I appreciate every single one of them that you choose to spend with us. So thanks for hanging out, Travis, and we will catch you next time. Have a good weekend. What's left of it for you anyway. I mean, to be fair, Travis, we live on a planet where everything tries to kill you by default, so... Like, you guys just have them a little harder than everyone else. But at the end of the day, like, everything's trying to kill you. Everything gives you cancer. It's that kind of thing. Alright, let's get this Battlemaster out of here. And let's bring in the other one. I want to see if this one performs better or worse. This one does not have the pulse lasers. We put in some short bursts. And an ER large laser and some SRMs. So it's a little bit of a different design just because we don't necessarily have... Oh no, I mean, I don't live in Australia, but Travis does. Travis lives in Australia. I live in Texas. But yeah, so this is a little bit different design that we put together based on the equipment that we had. Let's see. We can get the Thunderbolt put back together. The Marauder... I don't know. I feel like it didn't do well because it got blown up, but that could just be bad luck. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, I mean, you can see that's why I took the jacket off today. It's definitely a little warm today here in the great state of Texas. Which is weird because in the area of Texas where I am, it's actually overcast today, and yet for some reason it's still like 85 degrees outside, which is definitely not as hot as it gets, but it's a little warmer than I'm used to for April and May.
It's time to take a much more hardline stance against the local residents.
Weapon groups. Always remember your weapon groups. Alright, so the short burst lasers are gonna go here. You know what? I'm gonna do something stupid, chat. I'm gonna do something stupid. I'm putting the machine guns and the short burst lasers on the primary, and I'm just gonna hold that button down. No, Australia is not in Europe. Europe is actually its own country, you guys. In case you didn't know. And so is Australia. So, no. Please don't clip that out of context, chat. I've played too many fucking Paradox games to not know the difference.
We've been tasked with demolishing an old facility that they revere as a holy site of cultural importance. If we destroy it, hopefully, the Tamarind Mining Company will consider this to be a strong message sent.
Alright, let's see what we're up against here. I feel like I've been on this map before. I mean, Is this where we're gonna get into the semantics debate about whether Britain or Europe is the country?
New target. Panther.
I love that debate, by the way.
Target is now marked. Go get him.
I've got unidentified mechs approaching our installation. Intentions unknown. All security personnel report.
Well, the heat is certainly more manageable on this design, that's for sure. I'm just gonna push all the buttons.
Good kill, Commander. That mech is about to go critical.
I'm just gonna push all the buttons. I think it'll be okay. Okay, we are demolishing the base, not saving the base. Good to know. That makes this much easier. Man,
Target destroyed.
throwing a lot of panthers at me today. Where were all these panthers last week when I had a cantina mission for them? Don't worry guys, we're just doing some impromptu building inspections, just here to make sure everything's up to code, make sure everything is as it should be. I mean, it looks like you've definitely got some electrical and structural issues here, but we're gonna get those all sorted out for you, and I promise the fines will be minimal. I promise we're definitely not gonna get the OSHA folks involved. I'm sorry, we're not gonna get the space OSHA folks involved. Don't worry, we're just checking things out, no big deal. Radical reconstruction protocol. Well, I mean, not really, because we're not gonna rebuild any of this. But I mean, we very clearly need to make sure that everything's up to snuff. Otherwise, you know, people could get hurt. It would be a damn tragedy if, you know, there were people out here that were in these buildings and they just suddenly fell apart and got injured. I mean, what kind of monsters would we be if we didn't make sure that all these buildings were structurally sound? And they clearly aren't. Look at how easy they get knocked over. I mean, this is why building inspections exist, you guys. And again, I've said this before, but there are no windows on these buildings. Like, I wouldn't have to go through the wall to do a building inspection if they would just put more windows on the building. So really, this isn't even my fault. If you think about it.
New target. Charger.
Moving on your target. You're almost there, Commander. Only 25% of this area remains.
Thanks, Rihanna. Oh, don't worry, Steve. We are playing a modded career, and I do have the yet another clan mech stuff installed.
Tango.
But we started this career in 3015, so we're not at the point in the timeline where clan stuff is going to show up. Sadly, we're not going to get any clan invasion stuff, but the clan equipment and mechs will start to show up beyond a certain point. Now, who lost a component? Mara? Mara, why are you losing components? Why are you losing components, Mara? Oh, you're getting punched by a crusader. Are you the donkey that hit me earlier? Because I don't know if anybody told you, but I don't stand for that crap. Alright, there we go. Base is destroyed. Mechs are destroyed. Let's get the hell out of here. Who the fuck? So you've chosen death. Where the fuck is that fire coming from? There it is.
Enemy vehicle destroyed.
Banshee.
It's a banshee. It's a banshee. Chat. Banshees kind of suck, but I kind of want heavier mechs. I'm not gonna lie. I kind gonna want heavier mechs, chat. Oh god. Oh god. This dude ain't fucking around. This dude is not fucking around. That Banshee came at me. He was mad. Good lord.
This shows that we aren't playing around. Hopefully, they'll
Alright, we're out of here. We're out of here.
their land rights to the Tamarind
We're not
Mining
making any extra money. I just wanted to try. I wanted to have a chance at the Banshee salvage at least. Well, the other thing was is I also just tuned the mod a little bit and turned up autocannon damage because, and I've complained about this at length, but one of my big gripes about vanilla Mechwarrior 5 is the autocannons don't hit hard enough, so I turned up autocannon damage, which makes AC2s a genuine threat, instead of just an annoyance like they normally are. God, 40 picks. 40 picks for the Banshee? I'm sorry, but like, as much as I would love to get my hands on that, that's just too expensive. I will take a charger, though. We're probably gonna sell it, because, I mean, we don't really need it, and it's cored out. So the one thing that I would take out of it, the 400 core, is gone. But I'll still take it. And I'll take a PPC to round it out. The great thing about chargers is, if you're not gonna use them, you can basically just sell them, because unless they have the engine, there's not really anything else in them worth salvaging, so I can just go ahead and sell it without having to strip it. Is the Marauder, you have the 2C version? Negative. We just have the regular Marauder for now. This is the 3D version, but there are several other variants as well. They do have the Marauder 2 in the base game, which is the 100-ton assault variant. And I don't know if yet another clan mech adds the 2C version. It does add some 2Cs to the game as variants, but I don't know if the Marauder is one of them. Although I have said before, and I said this on the Twitter machine, my personal favorite mech is the Unseen Marauder 2C. And if you know what Unseen means, then you're a real Battletech nerd. Because the Unseen version of the Marauder 2C is the mech that I got. It was the very first pewter mech miniature that I got, way back in the day when I was a kid. So that's my Battletech nerd lore. But the mech performed pretty well. All things considered, it did some decent damage. I'm a little irritated that Mara lost another arm, which is a habit that she seems to be making. Is losing arms. But yeah, so this Battlemaster is serviceable, and it did in fact earn its colors. So let's go ahead and get it painted up. And then we'll do the repairs, as you do. Actually, you know what? Let me cancel that real quick. Let me see where they're gonna send us first, and see if I want to do the repairs here. So let's view the transmission. Offer to help. Oh no, that's, yeah, sorry. Yeah, and I'm aware of how this works. We're not gonna do it though. I'm gonna take the mission so it stops showing out, but we're not doing that. Contracts. All right, let's have a look at the star map. Where do you want me to go now? Other side of the conflict zone. Okay, all right. A place called Promised Land for a Warzone contract. Well, Warzone is actually pretty good, because we can get more money for sticking around, assuming that we go in with a heavy enough lance. So we'll have a look at it.